Well, thank you very much again, folks, for joining us on Black or Safety Voice. This week we'll be taking up a very important discussion, a very important issue, and that is the fact that the information, the corona information that is being provided by the health authorities, the government, the regional governments, that information is not reaching many in the minority groups. And that is due to the fact that many in the minority groups, many of these folks haven't actually made an effort to go out and learn the language. And I'm saying this because there's actually people out there that have been living here for even up to 20 years, again, that haven't made the effort to learn the language. The key component into succeeding if you are moving to a new place. Okay? Mm, and so, I mean, we cannot be fighting a dangerous virus, a deadly virus, as a society and intend to succeed, while at the same time we have people walking around with this virus who don't know what to do with it, where to go to seek information, whether it's to do with the health, the school, a job, or whatever. Now that's a problem for the society because if we want to succeed, everybody should be pulling in the same direction. But here we are not. Now, before we move on, I just want to provide you with some background information, some figures that we have managed to gather from the Statistics Central Bureau or the Statistic Norway, just to have some general picture. Now, from the first piece of information there, as we can see, updated 11 June 2020, that's only last month, so these figures are fresh. Roughly 34,000 people, the newcomers, the new landsmen, took part in the Norwegian courses last year. That is 2019. And that is a 16% drop from 2018. Now, one thing we have to remember is that the decrease in the number of participants uh, also reflect the fact that there is a decrease in the number of people coming into this country. Okay, that's a very important point we have to keep in mind. Now, when asked, about 46%, almost halvparten snakker norsk hjemme. Okay? When asked, about 46% reported that they use the Norwegian language at home. Now, when we look closer at the numbers, we find that people coming from Afghanistan and Eritrea, they report the lowest usage of Norwegian language at home. And the Somalians, actually, they report about 60%. So that's quite good among the Somalians. And the highest, which is around 70%, is from Sri Lanka and Vietnam. So, from the Asian population living in Norway, they speak more frequent the Norwegian language at home than the other groups. Now, the most important point I want to make here before we move on is that, the majority of the people taking these courses in the last couple of years, I mean, you can see on the table there, the majority of the folks only achieve a A2 level. Now you have A1 level, A2 level, a B1 level, and B2 level, which is the highest. Now, the majority of the folks, again, they only achieve A2 level. Now, this is not adequate if you want to understand and follow the critical information that's coming from the health authorities regarding coronavirus. I mean, then you have to have more language knowledge than that. Now, let's just refer to the extract with taken from the new integration law. And let's go to the last point especially. We want to read from this extract. Factum de nieuwe integreringslof. Grafen har genomfört ett visst antal timmar upplärning i norsk och samfundskunskap, ersattes med ett krav att den enkelte skal uppnå en minimumsnivå i norsk, slik at de kan uppnå minimumnivå B2 i muntlig kommunikation. Now I want to explain this a little bit. Prior to the new integration law, the requirement was that you have to finish a certain number of hours, like 250 or even up to 300. Now, for the slow learners, that's a problem because many of them they can finish those number of hours, but still remain at the lowest levels of competency. So now the government is changing all that. Now you are required to finish a certain competency level, whether it's a B1 or B2. So it's no longer the number of hours that matter, it's the level of competency that you have to acquire or you have to achieve. Now, according to Guri Melby, the integreringsminister, she says that dette den største endringen i integreringspolitikken på nesten 20 år. Okay, so this is the biggest change they have made in the last 20 years, basically. Now, some of you might be wondering why we are going through all this. Well, the point is to provide sort of a general picture of where these new landsmen, these newcomers are when it comes to learning the language, the Norwegian language. If they're going through the Volksnoblaring or other schools to learn the language, or they're just sitting back and relaxing. And also how that is reflected in the spread of the coronavirus into minority groups. And also what can be done when or after this crisis subsides. Now, let me just ask you one question, okay? How does someone moving into this country intend to make an honest living? I mean, drive, succeed, raise a family here, if they don't start at the starting point like everybody else, making sure you get the language and integrate yourself into this culture. Because like I mentioned earlier, there are people here, naturalized citizens, who have been living here for even up to 20 years or more. And they have refused to integrate themselves. And they may have their own reasons why they have refused to do that. But this is a huge part of the reason why we in the minority groups, minority communities experienced this huge surge of the virus in our communities. But you know what? That question, I think most of us already know the answer to it. I mean, we just cannot have that craziness. Now, me personally, I don't want my money going to some crazy, useless lunatic who's just sitting around and not contributing to the fellowship. Now, if you are sick, if you have some disabilities, now that's a different issue. But if you can work, then get up and go and get a job. Go and learn the language and get a job. Now, I just want to make sure that everybody understands that I'm not including everybody here, okay? Because many of us in the minority groups, we are doing a great job. And we learn the language, we get a job, and we contribute to the fellowship. But there's some of us who are too lazy, or I don't know the reason why, but these people are dragging us down, the minority groups. They don't learn the language and all the things that we have gone through, and they are dragging us, everybody, down, and we cannot allow that to go on. Okay? Now let's return to our previous discussion to do with the coronavirus. Now, are you aware of the fact that the government, during this pandemic, the government had to put up 10 million kron of your money to translate and bring the information to over 20 different languages, in the minority groups, because they have failed to learn the language, and the government in this case have failed to do the job properly. Now they're using 10 million krona of your pocket money, hard earned cash, to rectify that fail. It's everybody's responsibility to make sure that we all are pulling in the same direction. The newcomers have to do their part, and the government has to do its part. I mean, we all could be fighting this virus more effectively if we all could speak one language. This problem, I'm telling you, it could repeat itself down the road if we do not learn from it. Now, to conclude, I just want to read a last extract from an article written by John Perler, medlem of Stortinget, Justitiekommittee och AP-talsperson. Fellesspråk är avgörande i en krissituation. Tryggheten och säkerheten i samfundet vårt är avhängig av att vi har ett minimum av fellesspråk och kommunikation i en krissituation. Man kan inte sitta och vänta på information på 90 språk. När vi ska evaluera beredskapen efter coronakrisen bör detta vara en av lärdomarna. Folks, before I go, I just want to tell you that it's very, very important that we keep pushing back. We have to make sure that our message is reaching out there. So please share, like, and comment in the comment section below. It's also very, very important that you subscribe. Okay? Make sure you are subscribing to this channel so that every time we release a new video, you get notified. It's as simple as that. And we intend to release a new video every week. So please keep checking our channel. Thank you. And I see you in the next one.